Well, I think that indeed, if you would just listen to the mainstream media, you would think that the whole world is just a complete mess, that there is no ordering principle, that it's a crazy man in the White House, that, financial system going haywire, you have a complete collapsing European Union. But in reality, while all of these destabilizations are going on, there is actually an underlying positive dynamic. And, I have pointed out to this in my few remarks for the new year, that people should not lose the long arc of historical developments if they want to get a correct assessment. Because if you only go by the daily so-called news, and we will come to the problem of that a little bit later, then you fall actually for what in large part has become psychological warfare operations against the population. We will discuss this in the context of the role of the British trying to destabilize the emergence of the new paradigm, which is developing. So I think it is really important that people see that when, last year I called for the end of geopolitics, people thought, what has geopolitics to do with me? But, if you look at, how the Trump presidency, despite all of its problems and difficulties, it did manage to, to work in a certain sense in parallel, and in some points in tangentes with the Belt and Road Initiative, changing the international environment for the better. And one of the clear points is the situation in North Korea. Another one is the Chinese-Japan rapprochement, the relationship between China and India, Pakistan, new developments in the Middle East, Afghanistan, the Horn of Africa. They're all of these areas are positive developments underway, which you would never get if you just listen to the mainstream media. Now, to mention what you just raised, the visit of Kim Jong-un to China, which was his fourth visit within 12 months, he had lengthy discussions with Xi Jinping, and the general assessment, even if it was not totally confirmed and stated, is that this is all a prelude to the second Trump-Kim Jong-un meeting to occur fairly soon. Now, also we know that the situation between North and South Korea is actually on a good way. So I think that between the New Silk Road spirit and the Belt and Road economic dimension involving North Korea, South Korea, Russia, China in particular, and the role of President Trump wanting to get that basically settled and allow a situation which would go towards unification of the two Koreas and a peace treaty. I think this is definitely one of the bright developments which I think people should be really happy about, because it's one of the potential trigger points for a catastrophe of humanity, which is in the process of being eliminated and replaced by a positive concept of cooperation. So I think this is quite good.